the decline of visual effects and the rise of AI. Okay. We have talked about, we've seen some fairly impressive videos using AI. Impressive in terms of the effects. But check this out. This is from an X account. Let me share a screen here. We can all see this. Here. The guy says, point, AI is derivative slop spit out by a computer. Counterpoint, here's what modern Hollywood has spent billions of dollars making over the last 10 years. And he shows videos and examples. This is the Superman film reboot number 4. That doesn't look good. When this came out, people were saying that doesn't look so great. Scrolling down, this is from the third reboot of the Fantastic Four. It's the female Silver Surfer.
Yeah, but that actually looked good on the big screen. The best, most telling thing of this is people just putting the full clips of like Deadpool and Wolverine or the Superman fight at the end and call it AI slop, and everyone goes, "Oh yeah, it's AI slop." No, that was just was released.
Look at the Flash with Michael Keaton Batman. This shot from the Flash,
awful.
That's really
terrible.
Bad.
The sequel trilogy. This is General Leia force pulling herself back to the. This is dumb. Just a lot of Indiana Jones, right? Like he just puts countless examples of these different movies. Terminator 3, Attempt 3, Ant-Man 3. This is the worst.
That one was garbage.
I mean, ridiculous.
So bad.
So does he have a point that look, I think that CG effects will probably be almost all replaced by AI. It's no better or worse. What do you guys think?
I think, well, number one, I can't watch this clip without thinking about Bella Ramsey. I'm sorry. I feel horrible. I feel horrible saying it, man. I feel terrible saying that. But look, it's what I keep saying, man. CGI when it was in its infancy, right, was awful, terrible, right? I keep referencing Lawnmower Man because Lawnmower Man is one of the worst fucking films I've ever seen in my life when it comes to special effects, right? Look where CGI is now. It's a lot better. I mean, yeah, there's some garbage movies, but let's all be honest. CGI is so much better now than it was 25 years ago. AI is already halfway there, and it's not going to take them that long. It's going to take them maybe, I say, 3 to 5 years before we're seeing just like straight up.
Bro, 6 months.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, at this point, it's moving that fast, right? I get it, right? I love film. I'm a purist in a way of, if you look at my top 5 of films, like none of my films are past 1999 as far as like my favorite films. I love actual films, right? I have spent time in a real editing bay, right? Not editing a movie on a computer, but a real editing bay. I understand the love of film and not wanting to see that lost. The problem is it's already lost. It's already lost, right? I'm not saying that AI is going to replace actors yet. But what I am saying is, as far as effects go and the things you could do with AI now, it's coming, man. And you guys can fight it all you want, but there is no fighting the future. This is happening. And like Badger said, I mean, I'm being generous saying 3 to 5. It's probably going to be sooner than that.
Did you hear how they're currently using it? Real quick, before we go on, I don't want to talk over anyone. They're already using it in production by, instead of filming 17 versions of a scene and then picking the best one, they film 3 versions of a scene. And then they do 10 more with AI to have it recreate the different versions. So it's already being used.
This relates to what Dante just said. From Variety, Matthew McConaughey predicts to Timothée Chalamet that AI actors will crash the Oscars. Look at this clip. It's a little over a minute, and then we'll talk about it after we all watch it.
It's coming.
So they're already using face replacement for things like stunts and second unit and scanning people's faces. If they have to do pickup shots or whatnot, you've got that actor's information, the data from their face. But when we saw those effects from modern movies, we've talked about even before this, the last few years, effects have gone down in quality. I mean, they have gone dramatically down. I think, Alan, you said, why can't they make dinosaurs better than Jurassic Park, which was made in the early 90s?
Yeah.
They can't
or better yet, AI could have written a better version of Starfleet Academy.
Well, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. You will get to Starfleet Academy.
Well, that's not very hard.
Yeah, but the point you're saying is that one of the reasons why AI is becoming so dominant is because human beings can't do the job anymore. They've grown worse and worse. They become creatively atrophied, and there's no competition anymore. AI is just going to do it better because we're dumber.
That's also not new, by the way. George Lucas in 2005, when Hayden and Ewan didn't do a specific shot he wanted, where they're twirling their lightsabers at each other, he just recreated them digitally and had them do it. And I didn't hear anyone screaming that, "Oh, you stole their soul!" And didn't. So like this was already practice. It just makes it easier.
Yeah, I don't get why everybody says it's AI slop. Like a lot of this stuff looks really, really good, man. Like, I mean, excellent. I remember The Rock in The Mummy Returns when he became the Scorpion King.
God, that was
like they're talking like we're getting that level of. I'm like, wait, what are y'all talking about, man? This is good. Like if they did that today with The Rock as the Scorpion King in The Mummy Returns, it would look like The Rock. It would be amazing. It would look awesome. So I think some of the AI stuff that we. Was that
for 25 years? It's coming back to theaters with the fucking same CGI, and we're going to get to remember how bad it was.
I cannot wait for The Mummy to come back, man.
PS2.
But yeah, graphics. I mean, I'm just saying, like, it's not slop to me. To me, it looks really good. I understand you want to keep some of these jobs in Hollywood. People don't want to, just turn everything over to AI. But I think some of these CGI guys are just going to learn how to use AI anyway. They're just going to gravitate, move over to, AI. And then, okay, that's what we're doing now. All right, cool. And then they'll just use those tools and they'll be more efficient. And honestly, it'll probably look a lot better.
Well, humans create art, but like any other art form, the art is different depending on the artist wielding and using these tools. And this is just another tool, and it depends on how you use it, whether or not how it looks. Because like, again, we've seen way better CGI 20 something years ago in comparison to now. And they've come out with all their excuses. Well, we were rushed and all of that. I don't know what. I think with Quantum Mania, they were saying they're just so overworked and so rushed with their deadlines. They're just trying to pump it out. And maybe if they had more time, it could have been better looking. And maybe that's the thing. But I think they've just come to overuse certain tools and maybe don't know how to use them well. But if ones know how to use the tools that they have, like any other craftsman, it just depends on their knowledge of it, how to use some, and when to hold back from certain things, and how to just use, like having that perfect blend of practical and CG. It could be the same thing with AI. It's just another tool to help the artist bring their vision to life and make it look more immersive, hopefully at the end. I mean, Denis Villeneuve used AI in Doom Part 2 to with the blue eyes of the Fremen. There were certain shots that instead of going like one by those huge crowds of Fremen, they used AI to do that part of it. And that, of course, would condense the workload for certain things. So if it can help bring out these amazing looking projects and make it like the workload not as much, and we could get more creative visions like this. But yeah, again, it's the artist behind it that's going to make that vision look good. Exactly. and to where we can love it, be immersed in it.
Yeah, but Elaine,
that's where
I thought. The problem. Oh, okay, I go next after Steph. Tag, go ahead.
That's how I thought AI was going to be used in Hollywood, to clean up special effects, to help with the special effects, to push forward and clean them up and not make them look as bad as Quantumania. That's how I thought it was going to be used. And I didn't understand why actors were speaking out about it. I was like, if it helps, ease the workload off the special effect artists, what's so wrong about it? And then I saw all the videos from Seed Dance 2.0 and all of the fight sequences that were coming out. And I was like, okay, now I kind of understand like why they're getting upset, because they can easily be replaced, or their image can be taken and, put into formulas like this. And then they should just be used to create movies like that. And the other coin is that, when you have, and when Matthew McConaughey was like, we might have different categories for AI actors. at award ceremonies, and those AI actors won't be virtue signaling like Hollywood actors would be. They wouldn't be costing movies millions of dollars like Rachel Zegler did, or like Mark Ruffalo does. So in that aspect, I can see why Hollywood actors would be afraid of AI, but it's like Nerd Cookie said, it's in the hands of whoever is controlling these AI tools.
Okay, and that's the problem. So it kind of is like, yeah, I know how to do math, but I use a calculator because it's easy, as opposed to let's just lower the test grades because everyone's stupid. So like Godzilla, CGI, low budget, looked great because they did the work and they did it and they had their time and they did layer upon layer of passes. On Marvel, they constantly change their mind. They constantly make them change scenes. They don't get to go over it multiple times. That's why you saw that like collapse where everyone was leaving. It's because they were being overworked to death. And so the concern is that they're not going to use AI to make things quicker and to make the things done the right way over. It's just because they don't have the ability anymore. And then it turns into the slop. But in its best intention and use, yes, it's great. And it'll just make them use, but it could also just use to let a bunch of dummies shit out a bunch of effects that look arguably just as bad as video game cinematics.
Well, to be fair, James Cameron used face replacement for a stunt in Titanic, and it looked terrible. I think you remember the shot where Kate Winslet, Leo DiCaprio are running away
running in the hallway
from a door that opens and floods the compartment, and you see their faces kind of move. It's not so perfect. I think the worst was Game of Death with Bruce Lee. That was in the 70s.
I think something we're not hitting on is the reason why people are getting excited about this AI stuff is because, and I post videos all the time because I don't care, man. I just think, if it's cool, I'm gonna post it, I'm gonna watch it. But we're also getting something that the studios aren't giving us, right? Right, like we're getting these big what ifs, right? Like what if we're getting like the scene that we always wanted between, like, say, Batman and Killer Croc, or the Scarlet Witch versus Captain Marvel, right? Like we're getting these scenes that of what could be that the studios refuse to actually give us, right? And that's why people are getting more on the AI board, because they're like, yeah, you know what if we can't just like make our own stuff now? Like what if we don't have to rely on these studios who refuse to give us what we want? I think that there's a need that's going to be met in a big way. And it's not to say that studios aren't going to start using AI. I really believe studios are going to implement AI. I think whatever strikes these writers go on or these actors go on is futile. It doesn't matter. Studios are going to start using AI, guarantee it. If they're not already, I mean, they're probably using it already.
I'm pretty sure they are already. Yeah.
What the chat just said, by the way, it is money laundering. Sorry, Derek, just broke that. It's money laundering. It's incompetence. It's misuse. It's why the Acolyte cost $300 million to, it's not using what you have. Again, Godzilla, low budget, but they used everything to perfect maximum efficiency. They didn't waste, and they did it with care. And like that is not going on. People are just wasteful, and they're not using their assets the correct way, and so it goes over budget. And yeah, sorry, Derek.
No, you're good. I was just going to say, I think it's going to be interesting to see what the actors do. Like Matt McConaughey was saying, just owning themselves, owning their own likeness. And then when somebody uses your face in an AI video, you're getting paid for it, or uses your age, like with the way Disney is doing it with OpenAI, where you're going to have a certain amount of characters that you can play around with and create your own stories. I guarantee you actors are going to be like, okay, I'll go ahead and be in your story, but it's going to cost you like $5 every time you use me in one of your new movies or whatever that you're creating for yourself. And so actors will, basically have, I don't know how it'll be. I'm imagining some sort of a platform where, you can buy each face. Like you'll have a list of actors. You can say, okay, I want Matt McConaughey and Angelina Jolie and, this character, that person. And I'm going to put together my movie, and then I'll pay for it. And then that's the way the actors can get compensated, for being in an AI movie. There's something to that effect, but they're going to have to figure that out, because that's going to be the biggest sticking point for the actors, is how do they get compensated when somebody's using their face in an AI movie?
I'm not going to lie, that was really smart of Matthew McConaughey. I'm very forward thinking of him to just copyright himself.
Yeah. That's
actors,
point.
Actors are evolving. Actors are evolving into their final form. They will become their own IP.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you can pay, which is kind of sad, because fewer and fewer stars are being made, and older stars and legends, and really truly movie stars, that's dying off. What are we going to see? So we're going to see new movies with old movie stars like John Wayne or Clint Eastwood in new movies made with their likenesses. You'll be able to look, you can already license the rights to people like James Dean, Elvis, and Marilyn Monroe and make products to sell.
Yeah, they're coming to Fortnite.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not, but they probably will.